How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the carrier. If you'd like to farm the carrier for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel to Electricity and run all the way over to hit the save station right next to Moxie's alleyway. This is, of course, where you will be resetting from, so each time you do, you will continue forward and take a right towards Judge Hightower's arena, where you will have to take out two of his guards before he will jump down and fight you. Kill him and you can get yourself a carrier. The carrier is a legendary Atlas assault rifle, lot to non-elemental, but able to roll with all of the tracking systems. The carrier fires slow-moving bullets that when they hit an enemy will spawn an additional bullet, which will arc up into the air and automatically home in on nearby enemies. The carrier has had two direct buffs, initially gaining a 60% increase to its damage before then being followed up with another 50% weapon damage increase. Let's quickly go over the actual history of the carrier, because the carrier used to be very popular and one of the strongest assault rifles in the game, and that's just simply due to how it interacted with the original extra projectiles meta. For those of you that don't know, anytime a gun would summon an unlisted projectile previously, a fully separate additional projectile would be summoned for every single instance of added elemental damage. This goes for ASEs, skills like Amara's Infusion, just any source of an additional element would be added as a completely separate projectile. So what this meant for the carrier is that when you would summon that additional projectile with just one ASE, you would be getting two projectiles out of it. And of course, with the more elements that you were adding to it, the more that this would stack. Amara was quite insane with the carrier. So as I'm sure you can imagine, with even more elements being stacked on top of each other, this thing would get absolutely crazy and was just melting through anything that you shot it towards. Not only was this abusing the single strongest interaction in the entire game at the time, but this was a very good abuser of it, and on top of that, it was incredibly fun. Of course, though, this has since been patched, so how does this leave the carrier? It's fucking shit. It's just god-awful. It is a terrible gun, and it is a travesty. Not only that, but it's frustrating. These slow-moving projectiles used to feel kind of like a non-issue because of just how much DPS that this thing pumped out, but now you really notice them, and you really notice how it impacts the performance of this thing. This thing is an assault rifle shooting bullets that move at a fucking snail's pace, which would be fine if this thing had the damage to back it up, but it doesn't. It's like death by 1,000 cuts, except the cuts aren't actually harming you, and it's just like death by 1,000 kisses of whimsical garden fairies. And that's just assuming that you don't die of old age yourself while you're waiting for your fucking shots to connect. Because the bonus projectiles are unlisted, it does have decent synergies with things like Plain Dirty and Two Fang and an Infernal Wish, but it's not really worth it. At that point, you're just putting makeup on a steaming pile of dog shit. It'll make it look a little bit better, but not by much. And I mean, I just hate to do this, but Gearbox is really forcing my hand. The free radical exists. The free radical has the exact same effect. It is the same special gimmick, except the free radical is like an ungodly amount stronger than the carrier and is just better in every conceivable way. So I really don't see the point of this gun existing in its current state. I'll be completely fucking honest. This is one that is probably completely deserved to be totally forgotten because there's no reason to ever use it. But yeah, that's the carrier. It was incredibly good previously. It was hit probably the hardest out of anything by the extra projectiles nerf and was never really touched up beyond that. And currently, while it does have a couple synergies and it's not really the worst gun in the game, I don't really know why you'd ever want to use this over anything else. Especially, again, considering the free radical exists and is just significantly better than the carrier. But that's about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where I will be live right after this video goes up, and under that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.